Friday night football at the SCG. This should be one to savour. Great bounce to start proceedings too. One down by Pike, stolen by Myers, so adept at that. Upended. In the middle there was Heppel. Hurley kicks down towards half forward. Rampe's over the football. Immediately attracts a crowd of bombers. Stanton at the base of all of that. Kennedy's got it. They've got him. Ball up. So down towards half forward. First ball up of the evening. Could see a few of them.
Well, I reckon we'll get a good game here, whatever happens. Just interesting. Fletcher's on memory to start. I mean, 394 games between them, eh?
And the other one's Zach Merritt's on Adam Good. So we've got a couple of young kids playing on the absolute doyens of the competition.
So Reshaw down low, back from that ankle. Good hands from Pike to Malceski. Then Malceski off the side, but it was okay. And Smith's careful kick down the line. So here's our first look at Membry. Gee, you'll be pleased with that. And they were clean hands, weren't they? He attacked it well and gave it off. And Bagley just had to fish a bit. Winderlich. We had to fish with Winderlich before the match. Now Goddard. Now he doesn't get that, but it bounces off Tippett, and Hooker might be the recipient. And that's an impressive handball from Hooker.
Dempsey's away then. Runs through midfield. Bounces in front of Carlisle. No, gather. Goes in short, and the mark is held by Malceski, intended for Bell Chambers. Malceski wide, Jetta just inside the boundary line. Now the youngster is on again. Membry takes the mark just forward of the wing. Looks very athletic. Just watching him run down the ground without the football. Drives this one down towards left half forward. Well weighted kick too. Jack gets in behind Stanton. Told to go. He does. Stanton not paying attention. Ball goes down towards the pocket off hands. Taken by Parker. And Parker slams it into the post.
It's a frenetic start to the game, isn't it? Bouncing round and the good players getting their hands on the ball early. Membry's looked really likely.
Really good start by Membry, because we spoke to John Longmire off camera and he said that he was a mark kick player and they had to turn him into a player that was much better below his knees, and that first pickup was terrific.
He turned his back when he took the mark, but the kick was still good enough to get to Jack.
Powerful kick.
So here is Fletcher. 393 games. It's remarkable, isn't it? High and outside the danger zone for the moment. Ambrose to Shaw to McVeigh. McVeigh, steady kick. Jetta just dropped down. Oh, clever Jetta. McVeigh within range. He's got it. That was sweet.
It's a fantastic finish, isn't it? Outside of the boot. Great start for the Swans.
Better 3 goals against them back in round 9 as well, so he's a dangerous man. Not Buddy, but he doesn't mind kicking goals against Essendon.
High contact.
Heppel getting a free kick. He can hit the umpires.
Jarrad, sorry.
So McVeigh kicked that last goal. A smile on his face. Ironic that time. Kick inside the forward 50 intended for Carlisle. Couldn't hang on. Cunningham lays a tackle on Collier. Ball up.
No.
Essendon started Bell Chambers more across half forward and Carlisle deep at this early stage.
Ryder to Chapman. Spills across. He couldn't control it. Cunningham went to ground. Richards, well, improvising, got boot to ball, close to the boundary line. Did Heppel keep it in? I doubt it. Out of bounds, will have a throw-in.
It's funny, with time with Teddy, you don't even think about Teddy Richards against the old team anymore, don't you?
That's a long time ago now. He's like many players who've come to the Swans and just found another gear in their careers.
Well, they've done well out of Hawthorn, the Swans. I know Franklin not tonight, but you think of McGlynn and Kennedy.
Kennedy, yes.
So, boundary throw-in. Essendon inside that forward 50. Bell Chambers over the back to Ryder. So, Ruckman to Ruckman. Just had to wait. Grundy, Malceski, good hands. Rampe. It was interesting on Gunston last week. What a good job he did. A like for a like, basically. And then Jetta's kick to a contest. Oh! Gee, Jack got up so high, and then Fletcher. So free kick.
In touch of footy. Thanks, Kieren. Come around.
Gee, a high-flying Jack, eh?
Spring heel Jack. So Bagley's got it. Just the defensive side of the wing. Drives it around that outer side. Pike sets, goes. Knocked away from his teammate in the end. That was Richards. Now a chance for Kennedy. Kennedy gives it across towards McVeigh. McVeigh was taken down. Well played by Zaharakis. Good pressure from Essendon.
Jude, it looks like McVeigh stage.
Yeah, he's really trying to work him up. He plays a two-way running game, McVeigh, and some of the other important matchups, hocking on Malceski.
Goddard had it. He's gone away from him now by a couple of metres. Coming back towards him is Howlett. So stop and start football to start proceedings tonight at the SCG.
Gee, Bombers got a lot behind the ball here, haven't they? They had at least 2 loose men. Hurley, one of them. Rampe. Grundy. Good kick. Cunningham. Now this could be dangerous. It's a beautiful kick. Malceski goes to tip it. Well done though. Belting it away. Hooker to the pocket. Ball has to be fetched. Fletcher. Bagley ball in.
Well, there's the benefit of the extra player back there. Bruce, it became quite predictable that the Swans were going to tip it and all 3 converged at the one time.
The extra player, or the extra players, it's really then which team does it best, which team's able to use the ball better, and obviously they're basically tagging Malceski, so he doesn't give them that drive.
Quick kick by Kennedy. Dangerous situation off the ground by Jack. Wide of the mark. So the Swans have started with all guns blazing. They lead by 8 points. Short one comes in. Hurley flirts with the idea of going. Now squares it instead. Stanton in the back pocket. Nothing much happening for the Bombers. They've been closed down in the opening minutes. Winderlich developing nicely as a defender. Goes up the ground. Dangerous kick. Ill-directed. Rowan's got it. Runs inside the 50 from long range. Oh, that's a beautiful finish. Clinical.
Well, this was a poor kick, and they paid the ultimate for it. But Essendon have loved having Winderlich in that back 6, and generally a really good set-up play. I think the wind is far more trickier than what the players are actually realising at this stage too. And
Tim Clanger kicks 6 for the Bombers and none for Sydney so far, so they have been wasteful. Essendon, it is a swirly night, and we might just be seeing the emergence of Rohan. 9 games this year equals his career high, by the way, 9 games. I mean, he's had such little luck with injury. We saw the big knee, the big leg break here, but he might be just starting to emerge here. And there he is, but he fell over there, which wasn't so good. Howlett, Merritt, who we've loved him so far. Malceski, that was terrific. That'll get you the All-Australian team at half-back.
He'd be in the half-back line of the All-Australian side at the moment. We know how well he uses the ball, but certainly very brave also.
And a free agent. A lot of interest. Grundy went short. This is Goods. It's a movement from Smith. Just as a decoy, and sends it towards the outer side. Missed out there by the youngster. He's played a couple of games now, Towers. He's been quite impressive. Collier against the boundary. Grundy tracks it back towards the boundary line. And it runs away from him and goes out. So that's a good result as far as the Bombers are concerned. They get a stoppage here.
They do like to push their numbers back. Sydney then just try and run it. That's not so much playing it behind the footy, just going in with the ball. And there'll be a couple of Essendon defenders out.
Play on. The earlier clash in Melbourne was 7 goals to 1 at quarter time, Sydney's way. So Essendon just need to hold here and respond. Swans fast starters again tonight.
Essendon have been inside their attacking 50 on 7 occasions already without a score, so that's a worrying sign.
So Ryder's little kick forward, Richards, and then hooking back dangerously in a way, but it might come off. It might really work for them. Shaw, well done, just turned his man. Bird to Shaw to Rowan. Geez, an interesting player, Rowan. Again, he made a blue just when I gave him a rap, but he was taking off. It's like a colt who hasn't quite found his way. So Merritt, Chapman, Zaharakis, Carlisle pushed underneath. Reid getting back in the back half. Getting it out wide. McGlynn, Goods and McGlynn. Still with the champ. So Goods with a neat little kick memory. Gee, I like. What are your first impressions, Doug?
Oh, well, he really clean below his knees the first possession that he got. He got out on his own and took an uncontested mark, and then that one kept his eye on the footy. That's a good contested mark under pressure.
Goes to Goods. Left half forward. McVeigh again finding space, getting away from Howlett. He's about 55 metres out from goal. I'd venture to say this is beyond him. Goes back to Goods.
Hold, Aaron.
Just getting right for the finals, you sense. All the way back to Grundy. Now Grundy can run at them. Nobody really comes at him. All in one half, the players on the ground, but that's not a good kick. Bill Chambers, 15 metres out from his defensive goal, uncontested.
Well, Membry and Reid, sorry, Den, have a really strong role to play for the Swans tonight. Another option, 40 to 60 metres out from goal.
Bill Chambers, Reid over the top, almost the mark. Heppel surrounded, put down. McGlynn did nicely, crashed the pack. Now Richards just put off. As he kicked the ball, a lunging dive affected the kick. Watch this fly again.
No, Kurt, back here, please. This side of the post. Where you are, that's it. That's
Hooker to bring it in.
He got a good grip on it, didn't he? Almost held a beauty. So Hooker back to a similar spot. Rohan, well done defensively. Jackson Merritt, Hurley, Zach Merritt, McVeigh just did enough. Heppel, some quality there, isn't there, with Jack, Heppel and McVeigh going for the one ball.
It is a ground that you can get defenders and players behind the footy quicker than other grounds because it's obviously not as long. So I think you'll see that from both sides all night. And it will eventually open up, but right now both sides are doing it quite well.
Myers read a good tap from Bill Chambers.
Play on, teammate.
Ball not out. Merritt, well done. Parker in low.
Throw! Don't kick it, Essendon. Throw against Parker.
Okay, so...
Hold, Dyson. Dyson, come here. Got to go off, mate. Blood rule. Blood rule? Dyson, could you please go off with the blood rule? Thank you, mate. I'm in the mid-zone, right?
So,
yes, mate, I've heard. Yep.
So Ray Chamberlain there with Dyson Heppel.
I'll wait for this off the field.
And to your point, Wayne, also, because it's such a condensed ground that when you've got the ball in your hand and you look up, they seem more prominent, the defenders as well, and puts you under pressure when you're looking to kick the ball inside your forward 50.
Swans by 14, Heppel off the ground. Dempsey short, Collier. In recent weeks, he's given them speed.
Move it on, play on.
Getting continuity in his games now, too. It's not a good kick. It's been touched off the boot, too. Falls in front of the pack. Smith hand passes to Jack. Jack's kick, not so good. Bagley chopped it off. Run comes from behind and Hurley. Hurley to Stanton. Stanton right centre wing, goes wide of the mark. Called to play on. Penetrating kick. Down towards Carlisle. In front, does it against quality opposition. Grundy, who's strong in the body, out-body.
I don't know if Grundy was necessarily set for Carlisle, but he's playing deeper. I think it's just Carlisle. Grundy plays deeper, which is more half-back, but it's going to be a good contest because he's in terrific marking form, Carlisle.
35 goals in his career, 12 in the last 2 games. Right behind him. This one's out to the right. It's not coming back. It's trying to, but too late. First score for the Bombers. 2 goals to Sydney so far, to Rohan and McVeigh.
So a bit of a miss there. He's 18-9 from set shots. Fletcher getting back. Hurley. And then Hurley, nice sidestep, then gets the right angle, and then on the left foot. Ryder, well done. Not quite. Gee, he did well to get across in front of Richards. Rampe. Kennedy and Rampe. It's a real dasher, Rampe down the line, straight back to Fletcher. We know he can bomb if he wants to. Go short. Looked up, found Howlett. So the Bombers enjoying a little patch here. Just need a goal. And that kick to a real big space. Carlisle brought 3 players with him. Merritt getting down low. Was it Shaw? And the ball.
What are you making an attempt there?
So no free hitter. Just a
straight back here.
That was a
comment on. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I'll get to you on Carlisle in a moment.
Myers straight up in the air. In fact, it goes backwards. He comes again. Fox is his own ball, and he's taken high. Well, no, it's not. He fended off and got Jack high. So Jack, sounds like balls, gets it across towards Jeddah. And now, Reeshaw. Good to see him back, too. Comes out to Rohan. Rohan runs down towards half forward. It's 2-on-1 here. The 2 prevail, at least initially. The 1 fights back, though. Memory did nicely. Gave it across to McVeigh. Misses everybody. Loose ball about 15 metres out from goal. Coming through Zaharakis. Does well in defence. Slams it on the boot. Rohan does well. Gets it out of bounds.
Gee, I've got to... Last time I'll bag on about Memory, but he is so clean.
Great. It's exactly what the Swans need. They need some representation between 40 and 60 out from goal, and Membry able to do it.
So some stability now in the match. Though Sydney with those couple of goals and pressing now. Parker got a high one.
Contact, Sydney. Let him up, please.
What a good player he is, Luke Parker.
Hold there.
21 years of age. A lot of footy already. Goal-kicking midfielder. Tim talked about him pre-match. It's what he brings to the Swans. Back to Richards. Bombers have been so good defensively, and Dennis talked about that too pre-match, about how hard they've been to score against in recent weeks. Malceski short. Kennedy just summing it up now. He's just going to kick and hope that Goods or tip it. Oh, yeah, Pike will do. Didn't think of Pike straight away. I should have.
Well, both sides are really aggressively getting their defenders back. There's no space in the forward 50, so going in long and getting the big fella to stand up on the front of the goal square, really good play.
28 goals last year, just the one so far this year. He's had a few injuries, and now Sydney have got a break, haven't
they? We can see here he just stands there, uses a little bit of body on Bell Chambers, but then in the end uncontested, and that's back to his absolute best, back to 2012.
And not strong enough from Bell Chambers. He actually set himself up as the loose man and had no awareness of Pike drifting forward also.
Chapman out of the middle quickly. Heppel back on the ground, goes inside the forward 50. Ryder on the stretch, takes the mark.
10.
That was sweet.
10.
Quick out of the middle.
Thank you, mate.
The goal they must kick. It's so important to them, Heppel.
Right on the mark. Thank you, Ted.
Richards lost contact there. I think he was going back when Ryder was coming forward. And it was too late. Matty Ryder then.
Thank you, mate.
Kick is good. They get their first goal, trailed by 13.
Just highlights how short the ground is, and Heppel so important, having an outstanding season, getting it deep inside the forward 50 from a clearance.
And when Ryder's at full stretch, he's impossible really to get the ball away from him. He's right at the top of his height there. He took that mark. Kennedy with a clearance. Cunningham just went to ground. Bagley. So the Bombers have stabilised a bit here. Winderlick, done, not quite. Got the handball. Collier had a fumble and a boundary throw in. 3 goals to 1. Sydney making the running. Franklin not playing, just some tendonitis in the knee. We ran into Dan Hanbury in the lift coming up with Wayne, and he's suggesting he'll play next week. He was so close this week. So Vay's kick forward, and in the right spot, Cunningham takes the mark. Now, he hasn't kicked a goal at the Sydney Cricket Ground, Harry. He's had a good year. He's 20 years of age.
I'm not sure he scored on this ground, Bruce.
Nothing.
Nothing. No.
So he's kicked 11 goals this year, including 4 in one match against the Suns. But
15 gone.
Let's see if he can dob something at his home ground. It's been a breakout year for him. He's played every game. Well, he's on the board, Tim, but not what he really wanted.
The worrying sign for the Bombers there is that's 2 marks inside 50 with traffic around them. So although they've had the numbers back, the Bombers, they haven't been able to put the spoil on.
Early to himself, plays on. Sends a high ball, a slow ball in the direction of Ryder. Chapman camped in front. Heppel under pressure. That bounce for Towers. Comes back to McVeigh, got it from Bird, runs inside the 50, lowers the eyes, Tippett on a collision course with a teammate down there in the pocket. Worked out okay for the Bombers. Goddard gave a hand pass back. Towers comes again, and the ball spills out of bounds.
McVeigh's up to 8 disposals at this stage. He's got Dyson Heppel with him at this stage. Just needs to tighten up.
Tight pockets too down there.
So Swans threatening. Tippett doing that ruck work. Don't see him a lot in the centre anymore because of the knee injury. Zaharakis, I'll be trying to get him fit for September, make sure he's here. Rampe did well. Quick hands needed. Getting it out, McGlynn, Smith, Grundy, McGlynn. They've had to go back a bit, Smith then, I should say. Malceski, piercing. Well done, Hurley. That was a good spoil in the back half that they hadn't been doing earlier. Ball in dispute. Not out. Ball up.
It was good work there from Hurley. Sam Reid really needs to extend out the arms and take it in the hands. He's just given Hurley a slight window of opportunity to affect the spoil, and he did well.
Ryder with the run. With the left hand, got it down. Hurley off balance, got a kick out towards the wing. Grundy comes to beat it, close to the boundary line, goes along that boundary line. Bird, back to the run of Grundy, run down by Collier, got boot to ball, sprayed it back towards the middle, almost marked down there by Parker. Over the football, battling hard is Bagley. Parker tries to knock it goalward, still going Parker. He's working double time in there. Wenderlich grabs him and goes with him, and we'll have a ball up.
Just the Little League game at the moment, this is just the massive players are just following the footy up and down wherever the ball is. There's just a massive bodies in the vicinity.
Going to be a tiring night, isn't it? They'll be exhausted for some of these players. I mean, the effort put in. Gee, Parker, as Dennis said, he was manic a moment ago. To be honest, it was a bit like Jude used to play. He's down on the boundary line tonight, but he came from nowhere to affect the spoil and then did all the hard stuff, and there he is again, flipping it back out. McGlynn getting down low in the back, maybe, I think.
Back, go through. Sydney. Go. McGlynn. Push right out, Ben.
So Ben McGlynn, what a season he's having.
No, Mike.
Reinvented as a...
You've got to get out of there. You're blocking him. Go. You've got to go. You're blocking him. You can't block the mark. Take your kick again, please. Let him run. It's your kick again.
I guess Mike can't say I'm Canadian anymore. He's been around too long, hasn't he?
Got his citizenship at the start of last year, I think.
Anyway, McGlynn had found someone lace out, so we've got to start again. Can he do it again? Good. Yep. No mark. Thought he had it.
Good play.
Troy. Yeah. No mark. No mark. No mark, mate. Ball up. Okay. Ball up. Okay. You stay in the middle. You stay in the middle.
Second umpire overrode the first umpire.
That was Mr. Chamberlain.
Is it a case of just being more boisterous as a second umpire?
I was going to say, took control. He was the officiating umpire.
Gee, it's an interesting point, isn't it? It's like, sorry, I'm a better judge than you. You got that wrong.
Well, it can be done.
Well, I think the guy was coming at him, though, wasn't he? Ray's in front of that.
It can. I mean, it can. The rules say that you don't have to be the, I guess, the zoned umpire, but
the end decision was probably correct.
Yeah, it was.
It fell out of his hands the last minute.
Pike knocks it down. Bird finds a way through, nicely done under pressure. Squirts a kick towards the pocket. Wenderlich does better this time and knocks it out of bounds. Shaky start by Jason Wenderlich, but generally he's been in very good form lately.
Wouldn't it be too common if the two umpires had an argument out there?
Well, it's almost seemed who was more boisterous, yeah.
You knew who was going to win that one.
He did call him mate, though. He knew he was on dangerous ground. Down goes Tippett. Ball squirts up in the air. Kennedy dragged down. Myers goes in strongly. Kennedy stood up in a tackle. The opposite number 12 had it momentarily. Bagley. Hooker's hand pass gained about 15 metres. Howlett close to the boundary line. It's out. Gee, it's hard slogging football.
So he said so many numbers around the footy at the moment.
As the boys have been saying, so many numbers and so many players shuffling back to forward. You'd expect there will be fast break goals tonight at some point. It will open up.
Pike, well done by Chapman. So he's had some clearances, Chappie. Getting the ball out of the danger zone. Richards worked off it by Ambrose. Such a physical player, Ambrose. Carlisle. Little pokey kick Zaharakis. Dempsey had to get down low. And then Smith trying to get it out into the Swans player running past. That didn't happen, and then a ball up.
What hasn't happened at the moment is neither side's been able to really run the ball out of the congestion. It's been so much pressure. They've just been quick kicks forward.
Ryder won it down. Myers, close quarters to Merritt. Heppel did brilliantly. Goddard, Howlett. Knocked away by Reid, intended there for Hurley. Reid comes again, knocks it again away from Hurley. Now it comes to Bird. Bird down towards half forward. It runs inside 50 and goes across the boundary line. So you just get the feeling after that loss last week, as good as the game was, Sydney really back to basics tonight. This is trench warfare. They love it that way. And at the SCG, they're very good at it.
Just saw the key Jordan with Heppel and McVeigh together. Both have had an impact in the opening term. There is Heppel with a squeezy kick. Shaw, that was a defensive hit back, a spoil that went the wrong way. Rampe, Merritt with him. Young Merritt. Rampe had a while. I think he's gone.
Essendon. They can take a kick.
Well, he's one of the recruits of the year, this young man, isn't he, Merritt? I'm not sure who's going to get the rising star this year. It is so open.
He's only playing football for the past couple of years. Bruce, a cricketer. In fact, when Jackson Merritt was drafted, in asking the questions about family, he said, yeah, I've got a younger brother who plays cricket. That was only a couple of years ago.
Wow.
Oh, that's a poor kick.
Oh, right onto the chest of Goods. Dempsey hangs his head momentarily. Needs to get back quickly. Parker to space and Cunningham. So Dempsey paid the price. Turns up a little bit late on Cunningham. Got to be resilient. Cunningham goes long to the pocket and Kennedy slips away and takes the mark about 35 metres out from goal.
It's another interesting midfield matchup. It looks like Goddard and Kennedy are matched up. This is a bad turnover that created the separation, but Kennedy was able to just slip Goddard on the way back in. 125
games in a row now. Coming off 25 possessions last week, Josh Kennedy, after a career-high 41 against Carlton a fortnight earlier. Sharp angle. Oh, what a wonderful finish. Terrific kick.
Terrific finish.
Yeah, he's a good player. It's a great matchup, him and Goddard, that one, to see. I think they'll both play. Goddard will try to get off him, but it's two big midfielders matched up.
Ironically, Lee, like the last two Brownlow medalists, he went number 40, father and son Kennedy. We might make it a trifecta this year. Collier forward. They need a late goal, the Bombers. They've slipped again, behind again. Richards had a little fumble. Then he had it a long time. A bit lucky, Teddy, I think, there. Rampe, Parker gets it out of that danger zone. Dempsey getting back. Fletcher. So Fletcher with a high ball. Where are the jumpers? Bill Chambers at the back. Well done, Pike. Got himself right into the good spot and belted it away. So Ablett and Watson, those Brownlow medalists, and maybe Kennedy will join them this year.
Thank you.
Inside the last minute of the opening term, Friday night football. Pike and Ryder. Ryder's been jumping well. Tries to hook it down behind that time. Goods expecting that. McGlynn on the bounce. Heppel was waiting for him. Myers. Down he goes.
Mine.
See this a bit tonight.
Excellent defensive performance by Sydney to this point. 12 inside 50 to Essendon, only for 1 goal won. So the whole defensive mechanism for the Swans working really well.
There's that jump again from Ryder. Going back Rohan uncontested.
Likes to go Rohan and it gets back to Shaw. So maybe the danger has been averted. Good kick, Bird, and now some danger maybe for the Bombers if Jack can get it rolling. McVeigh's had a big first term. Tippett hasn't really had a look yet, but that's a good kick forward. And Reid, he's an enigma, isn't he, Reid?
Oh, he's a luxury. I reckon a lot of teams would die for a key forward like Sam Reid, but in the Swans lineup, he's the second ruckman.
Ambrose's direct opponent who's had to defend, and I mean, if he's got the opportunity to play on a non-defender, he'll do that all night.
So this really to make it a huge opening term for the Swans, and it's good. So a 5-goal first quarter. They led 7-1 when they played them earlier in the year at quarter time, and tonight it's something similar. It's the Swans 5-3 to Essendon 1-1 on a big Friday night at the SCG.
Spot on for the first quarter at least. Early days, just quarter time, but it's getting urgent as far as Essendon are concerned. They'd love a goal pretty quickly. Let's see what they can muster here. Rucks go at it on the way down Pike. It falls behind him, McGlynn. Out of the pack to Reid. He's immediately grabbed. McVeigh's in there. Eventually it falls to Goddard. Got boot to ball. Skews off the outside of his boot. Goods. Well, he didn't realise exactly who was around him. Now he's going to be penalised. Almost in slow motion there. Zach Merritt, meantime, plays on. Myers with a long kick. He's a good kick. He's kicked it from the line of the centre square.
So the Goods handball it or not, he's sure he did.
Don't know whether the platform hand was moved as much as the hand that hit it. So.
But in the end, it was a fantastic finish, as we said. Just his 3rd goal this season, but that was memorable. Got the goal they needed, so maybe they can kick-start them back to a 3-goal game. Malceski dropped it down. Howlett's quick kick out. Chapman, Ambrose, flattening Rampe. Gee, he's hurt Rampe. Kennedy belting it off the ground. Rampe now up and a boundary throw in. Oh, deliberate. Okay. So against Kennedy. So the Sydney faithful, not a full house, a good solid crowd, but Myers, Fletcher on the left. And Fletcher's kicked a full forward, and Ambrose very hard at it. Rampe has picked himself up. Jetta. Oh, that was brilliant by Jetta.
Little short one towards midfield. Parker on the half volley. Releases McGlynn. McGlynn storming through midfield. Not a good kick, though. David Hooker, who leads back in the race. He's pretty nimble here. Tippett comes after him. Hooker fancies his chances, takes him on, runs away from him. That was well played. And finds Hurley.
Yeah, to have a disposal, Tippett, then.
Move it on.
Credit Rampe, too. He bounced when he landed. Thought he was out to it. He certainly is back in the action and thinking clearly, because his hand pass was a beauty to get that ball running Sydney's way. Carlisle's got it on the outer side now. Just get the feeling that suddenly Essendon have sparked up here. Not before time as the kick comes down towards the attacking 50. Ryder beaten pointlessly by Pike.
Just judged a better Pike, didn't he? Back to Smith. He's got Goods wide, but there's a little bit of danger maybe in that. No, he's going to go to Goods now. He's up and about Goods, I reckon. He's been in really good nick. We know he kicked 4 in the second half last week, and he's had a pretty good year, Goods, after being injured at the start. Jetta couldn't quite clunk the mark. Dempsey helped it on his way. And Jetta's come up a bit sore here. Not sure how serious that is, but he's down near the ankle. He's in a bit of pain by the look of him.
Doesn't look too good, does it? Although he's soldiering on. Boundary throw in. Ryder did well. Followed up there. Merritt in trouble. Too slick for Chapman. Down goes Kennedy. Well played, McGlynn. Tackled by Zaharakis. High, says the umpire. So McGlynn gets a free kick across half back. 3 goals last week. Goes out wide. Bird breaking hard is Cunningham. Bird needs to control it. He does that. Finds Cunningham. Next link in the chain, another youngster. Towers getting in behind the defender. Bagley takes the mark. That was the perfect kick. Just a couple of metres in from the boundary. Only one man, Towers, could get to it. Dean Towers, remember that name. He's moving well. He's out at right half forward. Sends a long one to a good spot as far as the Swans are concerned. About 15 metres out. Falls in front of the pack. Myers, he certainly was under pressure. Slaps it back across the line.
It was like a slap push, wasn't it? It was a funny action there. The only way you could get any momentum on the ball, but got rid of the danger.
Effort and intensity with the Bombers at the moment, leading contested possessions, clearances and tackles. That usually translates to a good performance.
That kick from Fletcher, not great. Bird nearly got it. Cunningham was a terrific kick a moment ago. Grundy, clever, and then just sets it up. Fletcher and also Membry. Bird, Fletcher, good effort. Myers, spectacular goal earlier. Ball not out and the ball up. So Sydney back in the forward 50. Essendon with the 1 goal of the second term.
Swans lead it by 21 then. Tossed up, Ryder again up high. Hooker. His kick ricochets back towards a dangerous spot. Hurley just pushes it across the boundary line.
I guess they're winning the clearances partly, Essendon, because you're getting an extra play or two around the congested footy, but all it's enabled them to do is just kick it quickly out of that. No creativity on the way out, just like that.
Ryder having a good game. Bit of luck involved there. You saw Merritt go back. Eventually, Chapman looks for a runner. Collier, he missed it. Merritt again involved. That's Jackson reaching over the top of Jack. Ball up on the other side.
Well, here's the game here. If you look, contested possessions, the Bombers doing exceptionally well also in the clearances, but just not using the ball at all well. Their disposal efficiency right down.
Gee, that was clever. Pike to Kennedy to fall forward. His Tippett still hasn't had that disposal. Memory again, good pick up. And then Kennedy got a high tackle from Chapman. And maybe within range, though he goes very quickly to the pocket, puts Goods on a tighter angle, but obviously a lot closer to goal.
1 metre, Adam, please.
Just what Sydney need, another tall forward.
Memory was good again then below his knees, wasn't he? And he's playing on Dustin Fletcher at the moment. So a bloke that's nearly played 400 game and a bloke in his first.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
he looks like he's a good mover. So that's the not just the big pack marker.
So tight angle for Goods. And he's just pushed it across. I don't think it's even going to be a score from the kick itself, and then rushed through for a behind.
He looks to have similar physical tools to Jake Stringer from the Western Bulldogs, who obviously had a fantastic game against the Bombers in Dustin Fletcher's last outing.
Thank you.
Sydney are doing it right at the present time, aren't they? Bringing some youngsters into a climate of success. To the outer side, here's a chance for Ryder. Essendon's best. Goddard cops it up. Malceski goes back. Smith kicks inside the forward 50. Reid on the lead, couldn't hang on. He's going to get a free kick.
A good closing speed early on the.
Buddy. Right on, okay. Thank you.
On the lead, he gets there, even though should have clunked that. Very lucky free kick in the end, I reckon.
Yeah. Malceski just cruising past, as he often does. He's got a good kick.
You're flying that line, Nick.
He's kicked some very important goals over his career too, wearing this uniform. Season-defining goals in some cases. On the right side for a left-footer. His team up by 22 points. And the Bombers, you feel, right for the taking, but not with this kick. Misses to the near side. 36 plays 13 early going in this second term of the SCG on Friday Night Football.
Interesting, the last couple of... I mean, Kennedy wasn't prepared to shoot from 15. And again then, so that into the breeze, I think, the Swans at the moment. They're just struggling, aren't they, having those set shots towards goal. Gee, Goddard's movement was brilliant. To Dempsey, to Winderlich. You'd think it's in good hands. Winderlich kicks the ball high. Now Smith's got a bit of a problem. Grundy got back. Smith had an awkward bounce originally. Rohan back to Grundy. And then Grundy off that step. Now Reid will be, and it doesn't get to Reid, it does hold up, and Richards takes a good mark. So that breeze is playing a part, and Tim asked Jude the question at quarter time, which will be the scoring end, and you do feel right of screen. There's certainly, I reckon, 10 metres in the kick, and we saw that with Myers perhaps in that opening goal in the second quarter.
Like the MCG, but it depends on the angle, I think, which way the wind affects the flight of the ball. There's no one direction all over the field.
Parker beyond the wing. Towers. Jack taken high.
Advantage!
Kennedy helps himself, takes the advantage, kicks inside the forward 50. Winderlich a little undecided coming at that football. Played it okay though. Fletcher, well, he knocked it past Winderlich. Cunningham rushed out of bounds. Football left behind, but it trickled across. So we'll have a throw in. Comes tattered as well, the young fella.
Compulsory then. Pike, well done, in front of Bill Chambers. He's been good, Pike. Tom Derricks, I saw him out there earlier tonight. He played those 12 games, Tom Derricks. He did a really good job when Pike was injured, didn't he? But probably not to be seen again at this level. Well done, Parker to McGlynn. He just couldn't quite balance McGlynn. He was rushed. So good defensive work by Essendon. So what have we got? 12 scoring shots to 3, but 4-goal game. One more goal for the Bombers, and you feel like they're right back in it.
Yes, Fletcher thought about going, decides against it. Centre half back, straight down the middle of the ground. Ambrose is in front. Rampe got a fist on it to the advantage of Ryder. Ryder working behind, question of accuracy. That's not there. Gee, almost too much time to think, Paddy.
Thanks, mate.
He's having a good night, but not his best moment.
Just rushed it to me.
Play on.
Reshaw. His brother's back as well this weekend, which is terrific. McGlynn Geez, confident McGlynn at the moment. Took them all on. Scrubby kick into the centre. Good work, Bird. Parker. Jeddah. He was proppy a minute ago, but he's moving okay. We know he's a long kick. That one holding up. Can Tippett get involved? Hooker. He's got a free kick, Tippett.
Played that well, Tippett. Pushed back really. He's a good defender now, Hooker. He's been terrific. And he knew he wasn't just going to mark it unless he did something special, Tippett. So he pushed back really hard, and in that doing that, just the arm across, the left arm across is what the umpire has pinged him for.
He knows what the breeze is doing also. The ball's always going to drop short, so he just held his ground there.
Yeah, by pushing back hard, he protected that space in front of him, and then obviously what he wants to do is then fall onto the ball, and Hooker knew that and had to hold him, otherwise he ends up taking an easy mark.
This is his first disposal also, boys.
Yeah, and he's a pretty accurate kick. He's got an awkward style, but that's a good goal, and that hurts Essendon, it really does. So Tippett's on the board.
Straight back.
Strong kick by Kurt Tippett. Well, on exposed form, I think they've got it right. And Goods, certainly. Working his way into form for the finals. Heppel hooks Essendon down towards half forward. In front of Ambrose, stolen away by Jeddah. Slick hands back to Rohan. Rohan's kick was smothered. Ricochets close to the boundary line. Rampe initially kept it in. We'll have a throw in. 43 plays 14.
Normally so good at controlling disposals, Essendon, particularly with marks. Only the 19 so far. They usually have over 100, so Swans defending well.
Bill Chambers won that one. Spills across towards Merritt. Got a hand pass looking for Goddard. Goddard knocks it close to the boundary. Parker's run out. We'll have a boundary throw in. On figures at least, Sydney seemed to be Brendan Goddard's bogey team. The 17 gamers against them. He averages 17 possessions overall and 15 at the SCG. Hasn't been dominant tonight so far.
No, that's for sure. He's been running with Kennedy a bit, hasn't he? So McGlynn.
Go back.
His numbers are fantastic this year. Of course, a different role for him, and he's really responded brilliantly. Jeddah to McVeigh. Good switch up there. Grundy. And they've really got Essendon where they want them right now. The Swans. Cunningham over to Jeddah. Jeddah running on so powerfully. Good kick to the top of the square. Good set himself. Well done, Hurley. Swans with a chance, though, but belted away by Fletcher. Collier to Heppel. Heppel has to come back inboard to Collier, who takes off a running bounce. Now he looks up. There's not much to go to. He handballed to a bloke who wasn't looking at the time. That was Carlisle. Zaharakis. Howlett. They've got to work their way through. Stanton clever. Collier, who started it all. Does he get a handle? Not quite. Cunningham gets involved. Ambrose, ball down low, can't get it out, it'll be a ball up.
He's trying.
Gee, Sydney were good there.
Thank you.
Because they looked like they'd get through the Bombers and they would just close the gaps. It looked like a chess player just being thwarted with every move.
Bill Chambers hooks it down nicely. Zaharakis, the hurried kick towards the pocket. Runs kindly for Grundy. Clever hand pass on the bounce to Rampe, but Rampe had one idea and one idea alone, to get it out of bounds. 15 metres around from the behind post. 43 plays 14 midway through the term. Bill Chambers again. Bill Chambers won it down. McVeigh the beneficiary. Off the ground by Parker. Taken by Winderlich. Gives Fletcher some space. About 70 metres out from goal. He sends it long back towards full forward. Lurking behind Malceski. That takes some judgment. Everybody committed to flying. Malceski just stayed on the ground. Let it look easy. Grundy. And now Rohan.
With some time, you think of these guys that brought in the Swans. Most of them are quick, aren't they? Rohan and Cunningham are two of them, and Towers has got a bit of toe. They've injected some pace.
Good job here, Essendon. They've locked them in. They've just put them under pressure. They'll probably have the composure to slam it.
Grundy. Gee, Rohan played it well against Myers. Still not out. A good handball by Richards. Rohan ran on very well. Got it from McVeigh to Shaw. So they've done well in the end. Essendon had put them under pressure. Shaw. Now that's dangerous. Howlett at the back of Jack. Jack first to recover. Goddard, Jack with Goddard, and a ball up. So
mentioned the Goddard-Kennedy matchup potentially. I think the Bombers have responded with Kennedy's dominance and have put Hocking to Kennedy, which means that Goddard, I reckon his direct opponent might be Malceski as both half-backs.
Bill Chambers did brilliantly down to Myers. Kicks it out wide. Carlisle had it bounce away from him. Grundy in trouble. Rampe again a master of taking it out of bounds. We've got a throw in.
Sam Reid's just off at the moment. They've just been checking his hip flexor at this stage.
So there was the Malceski mark. Howlett roved it well, just can't get it away. Jack got him.
On the ball. Yeah.
Wayne, we tease you a bit about Jake Carlisle. Just quickly, he's had a slow start. I mean, you know him better than we do. I mean, is he a confidence player? I mean, can he respond here?
Oh, look, I think it's been one of those games, Bruce, where obviously they're getting numbers back. He's had a couple of one-on-one contests. He's lost a couple of those, but he's won a couple. I think he's okay at the moment. I think it's more about the supply of the Bombers. I just don't think they're getting any clean ball. And as the boys said at quarter time, the efficiency of the Bombers. So therefore, it's stagnant movement. It's not free-flowing movement that they've had the last couple of weeks.
Membry, that was a difficult kick for Goods. Sort of rounded it up pretty well. Bird cut off by Howlett. Back to Goddard. Now the Bombers.
Hurley goes out wide. Bounces just inside the boundary, then spills across.
And that just reinforces exactly that. I mean, you had Ambrose who made the break, had space. They missed the target.
So Reid leaving the ground. We'll follow that with interest. It's been very handy. After the boundary throw-in, picked up by Goddard. Zaharakis under immediate pressure. It's the story of the night for the Bombers so far. Surging pack of Swans. Nicely done there by Bird. Kicks up towards the wing. Outnumbered the youngster Membry. Collier. His hand pass intended for Zaharakis. Initial fumble cost him. Kicked under pressure. Taken by Shaw. Comes out to Rohan. Now he finds himself with clear air. Nobody near him. Decides to run it up. Can go to Cunningham. Ran himself into trouble, actually. Some indecision. Jetta comes back inside the centre square. Lowering the eyes. Shaw. Goods couldn't hang on. Behind Bird. Half chance. Myers stole it away. Got out Zaharakis.
To Stanton. Stanton will come wide to Merritt. And Merritt off a step. Very wide. Here is Carlisle, who we're talking about again. Pretty ordinary kick. Now he kept it in, Carlisle. Now he wants it out.
The Swans have done exactly what they wanted to do in this game, I reckon, after last week. Just make it a lower, hard for the opposition to score, get a lot of bodies around the footy, make it a real contest all over the field.
Just the 2 goals for the Bombers in the opening half so far. Stanton, Myers, Goddard getting busier. Now here's an interesting kick.
Wenderlich. Well, it set for him eventually. Didn't want to. Well, that's a nondescript kick back towards the middle. Chappie had a shot at it. Missed it. And again, weight of numbers tell the story. Malceski, Jack.
Holding the man, free kicking.
They take the advantage. Well, it'll be a free kick in 50. Well, he's paid the advantage now because Sydney is storming down towards centre-half forward inside their 50, Dale. McGlynn fumbled. Goddard took a while. Hammers a hand pass back. Wenderlich goes out wide. So playing on in that situation could cost them here. Zach Merritt unloads. Well, look at this. Didn't need to. Well, as a result, I was going to say didn't need to kick it, but as a result, it worked out beautifully. That's the best result they could have hoped for.
I reckon the umpire was going to play the free kick and a 50.
Yeah.
So then he thought, oh, maybe I'll pay the advantage. I think he's thinking, am I allowed to play the advantage with a 50-metre penalty? But anyway, he did it.
Pike wins the tap. Jack, well done. Kennedy, Malceski. It's a good tackle. Tim McVeigh was clever. He just tapped it on. Now Goddard within range for him. And can't quite get the right hook. I reckon he's had a good 10 minutes, Goddard.
He's positioning himself just off the stoppage and away from direct responsibility for Josh Kennedy. And he's such a playmaker for the Bombers. He's a real weapon.
Rampe, 2 Bombers here against Goods. Coming it nicely then is Hurley. No opposition. Dangerous ball, and it's marked by Ambrose. That was position A for the kick too. So bringing it out, they chose the wrong option. One of the rare times tonight, Sydney, and they could pay the price of a goal.
Well, tonight the short field kicking's been really poor for Essendon, so this is a bit of a settler for them. They've just kicked it to a pack, and Ambrose has done what he's required to do and now needs to go back and kick the goal.
Patrick Ambrose going at the Bombers' 3rd then. It's good. They're sticking at it.
It's a really dangerous kick, that one, straight to the contest 35 out. That's where Carlisle was taking his marks. I prefer that option, particularly given that the Bombers aren't using the ball well by foot tonight.
He attacks the footy really hard, Ambrose, doesn't he? A couple of his attacks have at least caused spillages tonight.
Asked Rampe about that, and a similar one there with Parker. So you got Rampe. So 2 goals to 1
Thank you.
for the Bombers in this quarter.
One metre,
Reid back on. So as I said earlier, that's really interesting just to see his health. Myers, Merritt, Winderlich starting to get involved a fair bit here. Switches now. Goddard again. He's up to 14. Goddard kicks to full forward. Carlisle, Norton, well done in the end. Grundy, Merritt ridden down. Ball not out. Malceski will claim it. Ball up.
Did a good job, Grundy there. They're the type of ones that could stick for Carlisle, but just got the 2 hands, firm grip.
Just sense
control.
The Bombers are coming at them, though, aren't they? There's Grundy taken down, spills to Bell Chambers. Still a live ball in there. Rohan goes along the boundary line. McVeigh to Richards, running out of space. Very tight.
His defensive numbers for Grundy are outstanding. He's played the 17 games, only conceded the 14 goals. And the Swans' back 6 are actually the second best in the competition in at least halving one-on-one contests. He's been great tonight.
Yeah, he was subbed out last week, wasn't he?
Yep.
Smith did well. Parker ran into a dead end. Jack, momentary chance. Myers. Zach Merritt. Play-on's the call. 2 Swans up. Pike punches it Sydney's way. Heppel. Zach Merritt again. Chapman buys his teammates some space. That's Dempsey, but the kick wayward. Needed to pull it back a lot more. Puts it out of bounds in the pocket.
I reckon the 2 guys that are Winderlich and Goddard are helping. I mean, they're the 2 that I think have given Essendon a little, not a surge so much, but as Dennis suggests, you feel like they're getting back into the match a bit. Sydney still with his handy lead. There is Winderlich. Towers chasing. Well done, Collier. Can't quite get it out. Rowan cut off. Young Merritt. Gee, Jack was hard. We know that of him. Clever move by Jetta. Brilliant, actually. That was fantastic. Back, and then the handball. Neat kick down the line. Fletcher, Membry, good tussle. 393 games versus 1. 39 years of age versus 20. And then Hurley finds Myers. So 1 extra goal for Essendon. If they get it before half-time, you feel like they're very much in it.
Myers towards half-forward then. Carlisle surrounded. Jetta, interesting hand pass. Flung it forward. Now a chance for McGlynn. Bit of a fumble, and as a result, they're in trouble. Look, for a moment, Reid was in some space and could do something. Well, he gets a second chance. It comes now to McVeigh. McVeigh across the ground. Things open right up here. With the footy as Smith, he wants to go to the outer side. Spots a man now. Rampe's got it. Essendon back quickly. Is it quickly enough? No, Kennedy gets in behind the defence. Hooks it towards full forward. Goods takes the mark.
Bit of chaos footy there. It was some grubber kicks, but the important thing.
Goods. Oh, well, that's unique. He went back goal side and puts it through.
Such an unusual move, wasn't it?
Got the leg power and strength to change direction. Terrific. He always had fantastic agility for a 190-centimetre plus player.
Well, he's come on strong, hasn't he? I feel like he is building to September. 34 years of age. He's a great September footballer. Rowan. Bell Chambers, Kennedy strong there. Richards, well done. Shaw. Oops, just pushed off it by Collier. McVeigh's been good to cut off. Hocking gets the angle okay. Now to fall forward. Carlisle did very well, Carlisle. Zaharakis. He's missed. Gee, Carlisle did extremely well because he's being held by the leg basically, and he stood up. Zaharakis snapping and missing.
Malceski quickly in, 2-on-1, favouring the Swans on the outer side. Falls nicely for McGlynn. Searching kick around the outer wing. Cunningham. Goods wants it short. Not sure that's the way to go. Neither's Cunningham. Goes back to Bird. Bird about 80 metres from goal. Essendon rushing numbers back. Bird now goes to Goods, who wheels around, shows some pace, some toe for the veteran player there, and he goes in short and finds Tippett.
Isn't he an outstanding player, Goods? I mean, he's the ultimate player. He used to play ruck before he hurt his knee. A number of years ago now, but he could play any position on the field, given he's already played ruck.
Well, he started on the wing on young Zach Merritt, and which obviously shows his running capabilities, but he's taken the 8 marks, so he's presented as a half forward, and then you just see, I mean, that's just the awareness, and the game now is to just drop the ball in short to Tippett into his space.
What's pleasing about it is his confidence in his body to be able to take players on.
Second possession now. He's kicked one already, but his only kick, and this one left and stays left. So a reprieve there for the Bombers. But what about the toe from Adam Goods? That was something else.
Such a soft, clever kick, wasn't it?
You lose Franklin out of the team, and you have Goods, who's now got a couple of months under his belt and playing a similar role tonight that Franklin normally plays in their lineup.
So Stanton wide. So Sydney's still very much in control.
It's been quiet tonight, Stanton. Just the 7 disposals.
Mike Pike, 1 metre, please.
Smart player, Cunningham, for 20, and he plays the percentages. He's not a big getter of the ball, but he's a smart player. McVeigh quickly, Goods again. Well, he's had a 5-minute purple patch. He started really well, and he's on fire at the moment. He goes for Tippett again. Couldn't quite make a great contest. Terrific stuff. Parker, Towers, Kennedy was touched on the way through. Gee, Goods has become a force in the last 5 minutes in this particular match, like he has been for a lot of his career.
11 disposals for the champ. Boundary throw in, dying seconds. It'll need to be perfect for the Swans to score here. McGlynn, the fumble, goes to ground. There's the siren. He was quite outstanding in that term. Franklin out of the team, in case you've just joined us with knee soreness, a late withdrawal. Well, there's been some adequate replacements on the forward line so far. Tippett hasn't been one of them, but certainly Goods has. Half-time on Friday Night Football. The Sydney Swans, 7-8-50, lead the Bombers 3-4-22. As we start this third term, Bell Chambers hooks it down behind. Hawking very quiet in the opening half, just 2 possessions. Stolen away by Jack, goes down towards half forward. Membry got a hand pass off. Jetta, bit of a fitness test inside the forward 50, taken by Tippett. Spills to Stanton. Nice gather by Hooker. A tight situation, played it very well. Kicks back outside the defensive 50, and Mike Pike, soaring mark. Untidy hand pass. Comes across to Jetta. Well, he couldn't get the arm free. Must have. The umpire said it was okay. In trouble initially was Smith. Knocked forward by Pike. Chapman in the other direction. Worked at 1-2 with Bell Chambers. And now Zaharakis to Stanton. He goes through midfield. Kicks inside the forward 50. Richards didn't take the mark. Little indecisive. Punches at about 20 metres.
Gets it out of that danger zone, though. And they should be okay here, Malceski. Just so cool, and that's a beautiful kick forward. Pike having a terrific match. He's had 3 contested marks tonight. McGlynn to full forward. Now Tippett with the drop. Couldn't hang on to it. Bagley got back. Last year Pike was second only to Cloak in contested marks. Hocking. And was that in the back? It was against Kennedy.
Josh, that's it, Josh.
So Hocking started on Malceski for the early part of the night. Went to Kennedy when Kennedy sort of got off the leash. Kick to Ambrose was a difficult one in a boundary throw-in. So Essendon have had some good third quarters this year. They were behind Hawthorn and did some damage. They were 29 points behind Geelong in the same. So they're in the same spot here against quality opposition. Let's see if they can make a move again tonight.
Pike backhands it down. Zaharakis accelerates through the ball. Now there's a push in the back in the Shepherd. So McGlynn.
He can't push you in the back. No.
McGlynn's got it. Bell Chambers a little clumsy there, trying to do the right thing, but again doesn't favour clumsy. So McGlynn has been a workhorse. Sends it down towards the attacking 50. Hangs a long time in the air, and that's a good grab by Hurley. Came strongly at the footy.
This is where they're struggling. They've got to be able to break into space, but the Swans just keep shutting them down.
So Myers to Fletcher. And Fletcher, well, he doesn't quite get the kick going. He was intended for Howlett. Pike, well, he found Stanton. Stanton got away from Goods, but then Kennedy, now Hocking, quickly Ambrose. Zaharakis took a while, got the left foot forward. Collier, of course, no height. Ryder, Ambrose too slow. He was ambling off and Rampe ran him down. Not quite as spectacular as he ran Gunston down last week.
Been able to close the space really well. The Swans haven't they? They've dominated possession, but defensively working really hard to cut out the outlets for the Bombers.
Speaking of working hard, McGlynn took off, ran about 50 metres to match a Malceski kick. Takes something off this one, short to Cunningham. And that could well be 50. He's a bit lucky there, Bagley. I think he knew what he was doing. Anyway, it slowed proceedings for a moment, so Cunningham forced to come back to the man that kicked it to him. That's Malceski. Short of the wing. Membry, the replacement for Franklin. I'm not making comparisons, but he's been very impressive. As for distance, still outside the 50. Reid almost the mark, recovered brilliantly. Slick hands, Bird, Parker, so much of the football.
And then belts it back to full forward. Pike front spot. Bill Chambers against him. Howlett, Zaharakis, Stanton, good release. Ambrose, well, he's put Hocking under the pump a bit here. Rampe to try and run him down. Myers did really well, but then he hung on. Great tackle. He took it well, Myers, but Rampe's tackling. I thought his tackle on Gunston when he ran him down last week was one of the best of the year.
As soon as he got one arm, that's it.
Kick to full forward. Tippett almost spread them. And then Hurley just hacking the ball out.
Chapman thought about flying, stayed down, and so did Collier. And the pair combined. Collier to Chapman. Chapman a searching kick. Heppel is outnumbered. He's quality, though. Well played, Jetta. Knocked it away from Heppel. During the crumbing was Richards. Goes to Bird. Told to play on by Goods. Bypasses Goods and goes down towards left half forward and Cunningham. And that's not a bad result. It runs out of bounds. And I'm sure the coach is happy, but they get a boundary throw in out there and a chance to regroup. 50 plays 22. Essential the Bombers get early goals.
Got to get that scoreboard to tick, don't they? It's been hard going. 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Kennedy brilliantly done. Bird, Malceski, sold a pup and then kicks to full forward. Tippett, Hooker, Fletcher went across the front. Didn't really get anything on it, but he gets back. Fletcher decides not to take a risk with the ump. Hooker, Zaharakis, Hooker. Played with a lot of confidence. Hooker, that's an awkward-looking kick for Hocking. Myers, Hocking. They've got to take chances, the Bombers. They've got to run it like this and try and break it. Winderlich, clever. Well done, Chappie on the up. Releases, Howlett, back to Stanton, back to Chapman. Chapman runs the gauntlet. Did well, does Chappie, and gets to Ryder. Well done, Paul Chapman. God, he ran hard there.
Ted, back here, please.
Had 13, Chapman, but a lot of handballs, but a lot of good work done there. And now Ryder to kick an important goal. He kicked a set shot in the first quarter. He missed a pretty easy shot in the second when he rushed things.
Just here, thank you.
So can he get the first goal of the second half? He's kicked 14 goals this year. He goes at almost a goal a match this season. Gee, that's a good kick. Whoa. That's a lovely, lovely goal. So he's kicked 2, and the Bombers do close the margin.
Time to go, jump the footy.
Really need to, I mean, the graphic sums it up perfectly there. They need back-to-back goals, and if they can get that, might be able to smell a bit of an upset, but the Swans typically been able to respond.
What a sweetly timed kick it was. Pike and Bill Chambers. Pike wins it wide. Knocked back into the congestion by Goddard. Taken by Heppel towards half forward. Stretching Ambrose almost. Quickly to his feet. Trying to crash his way through was Merritt. Down goes Heppel, met very solidly. And I think enjoying that was McGlynn. Slow to get up is Rohan. Heppel reversed the roles there. Ball bouncing around inside that centre square. Zach Merritt to Winderlich. Zach Merritt, he caught one. He's still down. Advantage is paid. Goddard, was advantage paid? Yes, it was. And the mark is taken by Howlett. Not much movement on the forward line. I thought for a moment the play was going to stop.
all of a sudden the Bombers just able to use the ball that little bit better. We know in the first half they had so many turnovers and their efficiency was way down, but right now in the last 5 minutes just starting to make some correct decisions.
In the back half of that second quarter, Duck, it was Winderlich and Goddard as the loose player getting involved through the middle of the ground.
As you saw too, Gary Rohan is bleeding. Oblivious to all of that. Howlett, who's been a quiet player, comes in and slots it. Lovely kick. They'll get back-to-back goals.
Tim, you know the Bombers better than all of us. What do you think? A realistic chance from here to win?
Jude and I were just talking about that. If there's going to be an impact on Sydney about that tough game 6 days ago, it'll occur in the second half. And if they release the pressure a bit, the Bombers are a chance.
And they've had good third quarters against Hawthorn and Geelong, and they're back within striking distance here. Next goal is revealing, one way or the other. Heppel against the Tide and then Fletcher and the ball up. So 6-day break for Sydney, a 12-day break for Essendon. I know they had 3 days off because I asked him before the match and he said then they were hammered in training after that. They really put a big work bit in, but let's see how fresh they can be in the second half. Winderlich got it from Fletcher. Toe poked it. Stanton did pretty well, Stanton. Back to Bagley. Well, he put Zaharakis under the pump there. Cunningham, good tackle, holds it in. Ball almost out. Jeddah trying to slap it back. Zaharakis, Parker, Zaharakis. Oh, he threw it out, I think. McGlynn in tight and tough. It's a hard ball, Jack. Jeddah gets so much on those kicks, Jeddah. Fletcher, Towers over the top, living up to his name. Dempsey, Collier on the burst.
Loves this situation, Collier. Sends it out towards the wing. Well, he's set right to a task up against a real speedster, but Collier is too. Went up the ground very quickly. Rohan and Collier, and they fight a draw. That was terrific.
Well, that's a player playing on edges, and he knows his spot in the side is probably between player 18 and 22. And when you're in that position, you have to do all the team things. That was great work there from Gary Rohan.
Rohan off the ground and spin. Tippett. Heppel was waiting for him. Collier slaps it through the pack, taken by Ryder. Hurley, sweeping hand pass to accommodate a teammate in Winderlich. On the overlap, Stanton. Oh, dangerous kick, but now it's going to pay big dividends. Bagley's away, running down towards to challenge the defence. He kicks towards full forward, and the mark is taken by Carlisle. 12 metres out.
Got a hand to it a couple of times, but that's the first time really he's been able to just outposition Grundy. They're alive, Essendon. I mean, this they've really got the surge, get the adrenaline flow going with the third goal. They're right in this.
Good surging one by Bagley after the kick was dangerous. It gave Sydney a chance to cut it off, but Carlisle will convert and does. So a real run coming from the Bombers now midway through this term.
As you can see here, Carlisle, he was going to lead, then he decided to prop and stop, and then he read it off the boot best. But if he'd led then, that ball probably gets chopped off, so he summed it up really well and made it easier for the kicker in the end and just sat it up.
Swans having trouble getting hand on ball at the moment. This has been an impressive effort by the Bombers, and suddenly you feel like it's an even money game right now.
Well battle, boys.
Stakes really high for both teams. Be a lot up the top, I think, hoping that Sydney lose tonight. Top 2, top 4, all of that stuff. And Essendon don't play a team in the top 8 after this. Hocking, Hurley, Zaharakis, Dempsey. Out wide. And that's unfortunate, actually. Ambrose, maybe a lack of experience. But Sydney, for the first time tonight, with their hands full, you reckon? Let's see how they respond. Richards to Jeddah. What a great year he had when he kicked more than 40 goals a couple of seasons back. Gee, it's an interesting kick. And out of play, so not much movement for the Swans.
Yes, in this first 10 minutes of the third quarter, the Essendon have got the run, and they've almost opened it as if the ground's bigger than it was in the first half. The Swans' pressure just made it look so small, but now Essendon are breaking clear.
Pike works in front, Ryder from behind, did well. Jack into the arms of Stanton, hangs on.
Right, ball pin.
Boys, Heath Hocking's been really important. He's got the job on Josh Kennedy. He's kept him to 1 disposal and had 7 disposals himself.
Well, he could have almost got a free there. Merritt at close quarters. Heppel. It was Jackson who got it across to Heppel, off the ground by Stanton. Goes down towards half forward. Ambrose inclined just to run it across. Another throw in there, another stoppage. This is the closest the Bombers have been since the 7-minute mark of the game. Got out to 5 goals at one stage. Pike could have been held, could have almost got a free. Trying to find a way through was Jack. He's going to win a free kick.
Kieren Jack.
Got down low. The other guy, who's starting to get the ball for the Bombers, is Stanton. Only had 7 to half-time. Spoke to Tim at half-time going off the ground. He's up to 14. Bagley gets it from Hurley. Bagley's kick was a good one to Winderlick, and then Winderlick, and suddenly, as Lee said, the ground feels a bit wider and more space for the Bombers. Merritt back to his brother, back to Chapman. Normally good with ball in hand. Chapman, good, lovely kick to Collier. Couldn't quite hang on to the mark. Carlisle back to Merritt. Oh, doesn't get it away from Grundy. And then Richards. Does Richards get it out of the danger zone? Not really. But Chappie couldn't quite get it, and it's a ball in.
The other player who's having an outstanding third quarter is Winderlick. We've spoken a lot about him. He was a bit shaky early in the game, but he's really setting up where he wants at the moment. You see him directing across half back, and he's used the ball well through the middle of the ground, so getting involved from defence into attack.
10 points the margin behind the pack. Doing nicely. Parker gave it to Bird. Not a good kick, though. Didn't look. Bagley gets back, takes the mark on his chest. They've got runners. With the overview of the ground, Sydney had stopped running for the moment. Here's Myers. He hasn't. He carries the ball up towards the wing. On the lead, Ambrose. Oh, what a good mark that was. Richard stepped in front of him and took it cleanly. That takes some doing. 50 plays 40. Jabs it towards the wing. McGlynn comes quickly. Just for the moment, they seem out of ideas.
Yeah, they need to do something clever, don't they? It's all static stuff. Good kick, good mark. Now maybe Kennedy. That was clever. He broke the line, and that's a great kick. That's what they needed. Somebody to do something out of the ordinary. And now Tippett, responsibility to go back and kick the goal.
It's all little things, isn't it, in the attempt to spoil hockey. He's basically gone forward of Kennedy, which enabled him to step up, stand up, play on quickly.
It's amazing how much easier it is for a forward when the player plays on. If he stands back and goes over the mark, that space gets covered. But the fact that he had the courage to play on opens up for Tippett.
2 kicks for 1 goal, 1. That one's not going to be anything. He's hooked it. Reid, front spot. Ryder got up high. Towers and Stanton. Towers back to Parker. Zarakis, good tackle. Ball comes out. Oh, Jack, brilliant pick up. And then Jack centering ball. Ball doesn't get to the back. Chapman back to Hooker. Hacking. Ryder, well done. How tall is he to get down so low and pick it up so nimbly? Then Towers cut it off. I reckon we've come to a moment in the match right now. Sydney pressing now, and Essendon trying to hang on.
Yeah, hugely important stage of the game, Bruce. And that last inside 50 kick from Tippett, ideally it would have been a Goods or a Reid or a Membry who'd taken that mark 50 out and then kicking it long to Tippett there. They need to reverse those roles. Tippett needs to be close to goal.
Pike in front, behind Bell Chambers. They fought a draw. That was interesting. Parker tumbles to the ground. High tackle, says the umpire. Parker's been very good.
Stay there, Paul. Play on.
Drives long inside the forward 50. 21 possessions for Parker. Meantime, on the end of that, I think it's Tippett in there who may have been taken high and is going to get the free kick. He's trying to barge his way out, having completed for the mark. Let's watch it again. No doubting that.
Just sloppy by Winderlick, really, wasn't it? Because he was being tackled by Fletcher. Probably just no need to come in over the top.
Tippett's kicking tonight hasn't been the best. Started well, but everything since has been disappointing. And this one, I think, is okay. He's got 2.
Western have been first to move with the change tonight. Giraldio's into the game and Ambrose has been subbed out.
Okay, so thanks for that, Tim. So The sub's been made. So Tippett So Kieren Jack's free, so it's been a good response for the Swans. And then Jack quickly on. Cunningham a target with Bagley. Tippett becoming a bit of a force now, getting a lot more of the ball. Didn't touch it for a lot of the match, and that's high. And Riolio immediately on and immediately involved. Myers with that trusty leg. He's got some distance. Well done, Richards again. Well done, Teddy Richards. He's had a couple of really good marks on different opponents in this quarter. And then lobs it forward. Reid and Tippett and Hurley. Kennedy and McGlynn. Oh, lovely. Brilliant McGlynn. Never going to miss the moment it left the boot.
Great crumbing goal, but terribly difficult to keep the ball in line when you hook it right to left. When you're running towards the boundary, that's terrific timing. That's a magnificent execution.
Very important player tonight. McGlynn, McVeigh standing off the pack. Bird's hand pass smothered by Stanton. Eventually gets it to Malceski under pressure. His kick towards the outer side wing. Leading in the race out there is Collier. Closing on in Cunningham. Collier nowhere to go. Played it well though. Knew where the help was. Winderlich sweeping hand pass. Now Heppel on the wing, goes down towards half forward, getting some separation down there. Jackson Merritt wants to move it quickly. Short, beautiful. Right to the chest of Ryder. And that's almost an art form these days in the AFL. Clearing the mark so quickly, working back so hard. That's what Jackson Merritt did. What about that goal? Terrific. 15 for the season. He got 3 last week. Now, he kicked exactly 30 goals in 2011, 2012 and 2013, Ben McGlynn, which has nothing to do with Ryder kicking a goal here. Ryder's going at his 3rd of the night. He's been a real good player tonight, Paddy Ryder. But that's not his best effort. He's played hard. He's gritted his teeth. It's been an enthralling duel here in Pike.
Could have kicked 4, actually. He's missed a couple of pretty easy ones, but he has been a very good player. Grundy asked to play on. Down the line, I think Jack will fly high, and Fletcher pinged it off. So the Bombers came out hard. They got close within 10 points. As close as they've been until about the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. And now a couple of goals to Tippett and McGlynn, and there's space again on the scoreboard. Chapman has been busy in this term. Collier, and lovely looking kick off the boot, but not to anyone in particular. Ryder, well done. Carlisle, great tackle. Grundy, Smith, Rampe, and then Rampe to Goods, and a terrific first half, quiet third quarter, and he's in the back half for the moment.
Moving on.
That Sydney defence was seen at its absolute best right there and then.
So no nonsense, isn't it?
Yep.
They just do the right things most of the time. So Jetta on the outer side, told to play on, just lobs it inside the centre square. Shaw.
That's it, Jackson.
Hold, Jackson, hold.
Flirts with the idea of going to Malceski. Goes short. That's confidence for you. Low down, and Membry slides in to take the mark.
Right on it.
Tim Membry on the boo. Looks a player. Right from the get-go. Rampe has been terrific tonight. Grundy, so resolute back there. Misses the target this time, but ample time for Smith to run onto the footy. Lowers the eyes. Bird at the second attempt. So Bird outside the 50. McVeigh looking to find a way through. Just pops it up. Tippett impeded on his approach to the football. It runs loose at the back. Well bounced obligingly for Goods. Did brilliantly over the shoulder. Throwing it in reverse. Kennedy couldn't go backwards enough quickly enough.
Well, that passage of play shows us the sort of Nick Adam Goods is in. Only 90 seconds ago he had the ball in defensive 50, which suggests he's covering the ground pretty well.
Sydney pressing hard here, trying to put the killer blow in before three-quarter time. Jetta just brilliant with pace, and then touched off the boot. Myers involved. Hurley, well played. Arched his back and then just tries to buy some time wide. Shaw and Merritt, and a good contest and a boundary throw-in. Hasn't been a pretty game. It's been hard fought.
1 minute time, please.
There's not much space for a lot of the night. This has been probably the best quarter Essendon have challenged hard and Sydney have responded. Zaharakis gets a second go. And that one, Ryder, continues to present.
Inboard, Goddard sends it down, looking for Stanton. Stanton edged his man under the foot. He leads back in the race, but the boundary line is too close. Physical look from Richards. Thought perhaps he was bumped in the back. Nothing doing.
Right now, Ryder, as a ruckman, Lee, I would suggest is the best ruckman forward in the game. He plays, when he goes forward, he plays like a forward, doesn't he? He doesn't just go down there to make up numbers. He says, no, I'm a target. He knows how to lead. He gets in the right positions.
Very flexible, big ruckman forward.
Sure. Wide of the pack. Rampe taken front on by Howard. Boundary throw in again. Rampe's had a terrific game.
For sure. Great story, Rampe. Continues to improve. Pike, talking about great stories. Zaharakis, quick kick forward. Gee, well done, Grundy. He actually took Ryder's jump off him, didn't he? He went early and kept his hips down.
He's had a really good night, Heath Grundy. He's got plenty of the ball himself and certainly had the better of Carlisle.
So Jeddah got it from Richards.
Oh.
And now this is a big balls. An errant kick, I guess, in the end. Could have worked. Dempsey. Back to Hurley. And that one just bouncing. And now, just thinking, Lee, I know, and Tom on the Rules Committee, I wish they would bring the 20-metre kick in. I mean, we hear a lot of not 15, not 15.
One of the knocks on that, Bruce, is the kick inside 50. So if you've got a short pass inside of 50, it's tended to 20 metres, it's play on straight away.
Boundary throw in.
Good answer.
Inside the last minute. I'm with you, Bruce. Picked up by Heppel. Gets a hand pass off. Dempsey. Going back is Reid. Oh, hacked out of midair brilliantly by Stanton. Just missed.
If he could make it 20, Mac, and then we say, wasn't 20.
That's right.
So whatever distance it is, it might be disputed.
Look, I didn't present the case all that well. But I'd rather see 20 than 15.
I'm with you, Bruce.
To get a free possession from a 15-metre kick really is unfair. I mean, it's too short to be.
That's what I mean.
I think everyone thinks that probably is the case.
Do something about it, Lee.
The reason why the 15's gone to 10 this year. There's been a lot of
even shorter.
Mind you, it's a good salvo coming back from Tom.
There wouldn't be too many full forwards asking the opposite of that.
McVeigh at close quarters. Malceski around the outer side. Fletcher works in front. The two veterans, look at them work. And the ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in out there. Goods, a terrific second term. In fact, a very good first half. We're down to 13 seconds remaining in this one.
Thank you.
Three-quarter time beckons. Essendon got close, but now back trailing by 20. Heppel out of the congestion. Chapman has had a good quarter. Delolio. Can they get a late goal? Merritt inside the forward 50. The answer is no.
So Reid just holding them up, and that's it. So good quarter. Bombers really looked a chance. They kicked 3 quick goals, and then Sydney responded with a couple. So three-quarter time here on Friday night at the SCG. It is the Swans by 20 points. It's not done and dusted by a long way. Bombers can finish hard here, but Sydney need it with a quarter to play.
Bombers with some work to do. On the way down, Bell Chambers did well, flicked it down to Heppel. Heppel goes to half forward, missed by Jackson Merritt. He was held a while too. Ball runs free inside the 50. Smith nudged out of it. Zach Merritt goes back after it. He's over the football, tries to give it to Howard. Well, at least to his advantage. Howard went to ground. Delolio goes in, tries to snatch it from his teammate. Nothing doing. And there's a ball up.
The players adapted really well to the sliding rule. Players now keep their feet going into the contest rather than losing their feet and sliding in.
Pike to Kennedy. Said that a lot. Gee, Hocking just robbed it there of Malceski. Smith has to have quick hands. He does. Lloyd on the ground. For memory, a couple of the youngsters. And then Shaw controls it to Cunningham. So
That's it.
good positive start by the Bombers. They need the first goal. It's been a low-scoring affair. Fletcher did well. Doesn't, but McGlynn hit the pack hard.
Didn't roll him. Thank you.
So not rolled. That's a new cat's cry in footy.
Not rolled.
Yeah, haven't rolled him, so it's a free kick.
Whoops.
Better roll him. McGlynn to Cunningham. To Shaw. And Shaw rolls the ball out of play. So, deliberate, okay. So, a little kick, Stanton. He was another one like Chappie who got busy in that third quarter.
Plays on out of bounds.
Sorry?
That's not good.
No. Took it out. Okay, so it's out of bounds.
It's a boundary throw in.
Yep. Can't argue about that one.
No, wanted to go down the line, but brought some trouble. It's a boundary throw in. 62 plays 42. Final term on Friday Night Football. Over the top, Pike to Kennedy. Spills wide, McGlynn again. Terrific. Parker, so much of the footy. Like Towers as well. Runs to the wing, beyond the wing now, and he kicks it deep into attack. Terrific mark. Hurley going back with the flight of it. A tidy kick. Got out with some time, though. That was a lovely mark by Hurley. His opponent had the best position as the ball was coming in. So Stanton won't go to his right this time. Takes a straight line and just sends it to Bell Chambers to Heppel.
So Heppel kicks to a one-on-one. Carlisle, not Carlisle, Merritt, I should say. And then quick kick by Malceski, just wanting some space out wide. Parker's been very good and rolls it along the ground. So Parker now up to 25 disposals. That's the most by any Swan, and a couple more than Hurley. So Hurley with 23 for the Bombers.
When you see Hurley in this sort of form and Carlisle's form in the last couple of weeks, you can really see what Mark Thompson's trying to implement with his spine. Just it's been really strong tonight, Hurley. A lot of the ball, but lots of strong contested marks also.
Oh, gee.
Trying. Lots of hands in there, no problem.
Compensate these days like men moving a piano. They're just walking around en masse. Footy in there somewhere. Third man up, Goddard thumps it wide. Zaharakis better in the second half. Goes down towards half forward. No space there. Over the top. Smith does well. Gets a fist on it and sends it out of bounds. So many stoppages tonight. And it's been tough in the aftermath of them. And generally, Sydney have done the better. Pike, deftly, if you don't mind, just rolled it down to Kennedy, standing at his feet. A bit too close, really. And generally, at set plays from boundary throw-ins, Kennedy always stands directly in front of both ruckmen.
Pike again. Kennedy almost in the frame. Hocking doesn't quite get it to Zaharakis. McVeigh runs it over. So Ryder really playing full forward now, isn't he? And
he's been good. Hurley's been terrific in defence, as you've highlighted. Carlisle has just not been able to do it tonight. Grundy's done a really good job. Only 2 marks to Carlisle, so Grundy terrific in that contest.
Kennedy, well done. Dennis talked about his positioning. Bagley, Hurley, Gilds almost, and Hurley back. Zach Merritt, love the way he goes about it, Zach Merritt. Back to Hurley, that was clever. Hurley with a bit of time to think about it. Now Bagley's kicked the ball well tonight. Goes to the pocket, Diolio, good mark. He went early, and Rampe's been a hard man to beat all night. And again, a well way to kick by Bagley for not the first time this evening.
It was a beautiful kick. I tend to defend the key forwards a little bit more tonight. I think Tippin at the other end too has struggled to really get in the game. He's kicked his 2 goals, but the fact that they've had so many numbers back, it has been a really difficult night for the forwards, although they have
just because he's in your academy.
No, they have been.
I just think Grundy's done him tonight.
A lot of 50-50 balls back.
Come on, Doug. Grundy's done him tonight.
I wouldn't say that, Tom.
Hasn't played in a losing team, Diolio, this year. Hasn't played a lot of matches, so. But I've liked what he's done when he's come on.
Well, we'll have a look at the one-on-one contest that they've had back there, and I'm sure it'll be around an even spread, Bruce. But like I said, they've had a lot of support.
Malceski kick along the boundary line, and Jack takes the mark. Kieren Jack, side leading by 19 points, looks back towards the middle. Wouldn't suggest that's the spot to go. Goes down the line instead. Almost the mark behind there to Kennedy. Trying to hand pass it through Parker. Kennedy did brilliantly. Knocked it down to Cunningham. Tippett. Did he have his arms chopped? Apparently not. McGlynn deep in the pocket. Can he work some magic here? It's coming back. Not in time. Bounced too high for Rampe to do much with it. He was arriving at speed. And it's back to 20 points.
Yep, 9-9, 6-7. But the Bombers' scoring shots are more even, so it suggests that in the second half they've had a lot more parity. It's a good kick. Collier. And then Collier. Yep, Chapman, a good man to have it. Well, this is, I reckon, I was going to say the biggest kick of the night so far. This is now the biggest kick of the night so far. Heppel kicks this, it's game on. Absolutely game on here. Sydney have been absorbing a lot of pressure in this last quarter. They've hardly had it forward of 50. And Heppel. That's your line. Now, this is not his strong suit. Set shots for goal. He does everything else well. He's 0-4 this year. Good time to break the duck.
Hang on.
He's got the temperament for it, and he has got it home. And Essendon with a real chance now. Duck and Essendon win.
Oh, look, I think they're half a chance to win. Look, Sydney are obviously in control, but I give them a chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't back them.
No, Swans to me.
Tim?
I'm sticking with Sydney. Their ability to close games out is second to none in this competition.
Parker into the path of Jack. Goes with the right boot around the corner. McGlynn doing everything, and that hurt. He came down head first.
Go back. Just there, thank you. Time back on.
He's fearless.
Stay out, Kieren.
Inspirational, really. Former Hawk. Led his trade well.
Play on.
Close to the boundary line. Gathered by Tippett. Lumbering into the tackle there. McVeigh. Slick hand pass. Bird kicks it straight up in the air. Reid knocks it down. Stanton tried to kick it. Missed it. Bagley jumping on him. Cunningham. Dempsey did well. Stanton out of the congestion eventually. Well done by Chapman. Knocks it Goldwood. Coming across was Rohan. And as a result, had nowhere to go, just moving across the bow of Chapman. Immediately dragged down, and the umpire calls for it.
Straight back.
Here's McGlynn. He gets crunched a lot, doesn't he? He's a tough hombre. Gee, Chappie was good there a moment ago. He just got that fist in. He's had a really good second half, Paul Chapman. Has he been a good pickup, Chappie? What do you reckon?
Thank you.
Has he been worth it for the Bombers?
Good year. Yeah, he's given him a good year. It wasn't a gigantic investment, clearly, when he's being a free agent, so it's been worthwhile.
Bagley and McGlynn. McGlynn clever. Bagley to chase hard. Tippett to put the tackle on. Bagley back to Hooker. Hooker sweeps it. Not a great handball. Stanton on hands and knees. Bagley. Hooker. He's been really confident, Hooker, again tonight. Back to Fletcher.
Fletcher, hurried kick out, short of the wing. Collier could have been held without it. McVeigh breaks away. Sends it down towards full forward over the top. Kennedy. He was in position A, but he couldn't take the mark. Good defending. The man coming back hard on him. Did enough. I suppose all the experience helped him do that. Knows what to do in a tight situation. Hurley, been good tonight. Drives it towards the outer side. Telling kick to it. Gets some distance on it. Ryder couldn't hang on. Sydney with the numbers. Lloyd got it from McVeigh. Back to Lloyd. Goes inside the forward 50. Opportunity now for Kennedy. He took it nicely. McGlynn. Sweeping hand pass. Goods in midair. Taken as he came down. Pack was Chapman. Hooker just pushes it forward. Chance for Bagley running out of space. And we'll have a throw in.
This is international rules stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. See Pierce Hanley do that. The Irishman for the Brisbane Lions just toe it up.
I reckon it's good when you can make Lee catch his breath. You actually audibly responded to Lee. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Dempsey can't get it out. Rohan does. And it's a behind. So Sydney responding as they have for much of the night. Right there, Kennedy forward looks dangerous at the moment, actually. He's the one that you feel like something's going to happen when it goes near him.
High ball. It's 4-on-2 out there, but the two prevail thanks to Hurley. Hurley goes down towards half forward Carlisle. Brilliant gather, turns around, goes short, demanding something of Delolio. He took the half volley as well. Confronted by McVeigh. McVeigh corners him. As a result, Essendon come back. Merritt, that's Zach to Goddard, who goes long down towards full forward. In from the side, Heppel. Plenty of numbers there for the Swans. Trying to get through as Bird. Bird goes back in and strips Carlisle. Front on Grundy, picked up by Parker. Parker emerges with a football, well done, and then hit him on the chest. I'm not sure he can claim the last bit. McGlynn's got the footy.
He deserves the credit, though, for all the other stuff. God, he was good, wasn't he? Yeah. McGlynn and Parker, eh? Goods working hard. No mark. Bagley with him. Goddard and Goods. Goods on the up. Well done to Pike. Pike getting down low on a boundary throw-in. So how do the Bombers find 3 more goals from here? They've kicked 7 so far, but Sydney has only kicked 2 goals since half-time, so they have really struggled to impact on the board since the long break.
Boundary throw in then. Reid over the top. They fought a draw. Jack missed the target initially. Jenner goes to ground. Well done by Merritt. Got it out quickly. Winderlick back to Chapman. Took a while. Assessed the terrain. Goes out wide. Not a bad spot for it. Collier in space. Myers, remember he's a long kick, but he takes something off this. Goes to Dempsey, just inside the boundary line, wheels around, sends it to a dangerous spot, about 15 metres out from goal. Well, they needed a contest. Richards completely misjudged it. Carlisle tried to back out of trouble. Ball fell at his feet. It's still a live footy in there. And McVeigh rushes it back across the line and has an admonishing word to at least a couple of his fellow defenders.
It was a funny one, wasn't it? I mean, in the end, it was an air ball. 36,804 the crowd. So terrific Friday night crowd here. Gee, well done by Bird against Heppel. Howlett, Zaharakis, Heppel, Zaharakis, Hurley, some of their really big ball getters tonight. Zaharakis, neat kick, Goddard doesn't take it. Pressure there, Hocking. Gee, he was good Hocking. He was outnumbered, out position, still got it. Gives it to Dempsey. Oh, just had to bring it to the top of the square. Couldn't do that. And forced out.
There are a lot of mistakes tonight, Dempsey.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But, and you spoke about in the first quarter, Wayne, for that loose player to use the ball well. If they're going to be a ball user, we've seen the benefit of Winderlick and Goddard, but Dempsey's had a lot of uncontested possession but hasn't used it efficiently.
Still plenty of time. Howlett, the meat and the sandwich there. Stolen away by Parker. And he had a problem. Down goes Shaw. And Towers eventually pushed across the boundary line, so it'll be thrown in. The margin just 15. Essendon get the next one. And as you can see, plenty of clock.
1 minute, Tom.
If it goes the other way, that will create a problem. Bullocking, no-nonsense football tonight. Pike in front, straight down to Howlett, though. Hurried kick off the side of his boot. And it spills out of bounds.
Just thinking, they've been better since quarter time. Yes, I wonder if the hocking onto Kennedy at the start of the game, it took a quarter to go to the Hockeys, tried to get onto Malceski, didn't he, as a defensive forward, but maybe that's been a better setup in that traditional role that he does.
Sydney, through into the ground. Thanks, Tom.
Well, he gave that free kick away because Pike has just been dominating in the last, well, certainly in this quarter, and you can see the Bombers players actually reading Pike now, not even worrying about Bell Chambers.
And then Pike to Malceski. Oh, good fly by Rohan, couldn't quite hang on.
Right tackle, Sydney.
Parker's free.
Well, the matchup changes, Lee, were Hocking obviously to Kennedy. Where I guess the Swans have got a result is Kennedy's been able to go forward, but then Chapman's actually playing a defensive forward role on Malceski. So Chabby draws the ball, as we know, which has made Malceski probably more accountable than he's needed to be. So it's been a good tactical move from Essendon. Maybe could have started that way, as you say.
And in that time, they've kicked 6 goals to 4.
Yep.
So they've had a little bit the better. It's been catch-up footy all night. They've never quite got there. Got within 10 points. Bird's kicked towards Tippett. Jetta done some really good things. Back to Bird, and then off that step by Bird, floating Goddard, uncontested.
Out, Kurt, out. Thank you, Gary, right there, mate.
Here's a chance to go from the back. One of those nights for Brendan Knight. Slip. Nothing now really to go to. Not that the slip caused that. Kick under the circumstances. Delolio He's a right half back.
You, mate, you.
Just jams it further afield. Myers thought about going. Oh, this will be 50 then, will it? Well, I think so. Now, there's a player calling out hold.
Very clear.
Well, it turned out to be the umpire then. I thought maybe Jenner had been confused.
He's within range almost, Dennis Myers.
Mark is here. Time back on, play on.
He plays on immediately, has a long kick at goal, offline, helped across the line down there by Grundy. So Jenner made a meal of that one. He came over by about 10 metres, didn't he? There's a lot of shouting around him, but obviously the umpire was one of those shouting.
But the Bombers with a scoring chance. Pike again. Richards taken up the front by Ryder. Parker has been really first in so often tonight. And if it hasn't been Parker, I think McGlynn's been the other one. This time it's Ryder and Pike. Here's Jeddah. And Jeddah out to space. Rampe. Goddard just couldn't quite get a handle on it. Rampe. It was one of those where you just knew it was going to get away from.
Happy to see it out there. I mean, a renowned left-footer, Dane Rampe. And would have loved to have come back on his left and bring it inboard, but the boundary line was his friend.
Pike in front, missed it completely, runs free at the back. Chapman wins his way through. Zaharakis with the outside of the boot. Nobody back. Mark is taken by Richards. Well, when I say nobody for Essendon. Richards to Grundy, who's been very good. Grundy runs it out, then goes long, intended on the other side for Pike, over his head, leads back in the race. Well done, Hurley. Got the big fella off the line of the footy. Hand passes to Goddard. Not a good kick. Came off the outside of his boot. Collier dropped it by surprise. Heppel's over it. So is the sub. That's Lloyd. And there'll be a ball up on the outer side. Jake Lloyd, another of those youngsters, number 44. 4 possessions so far. His 13th game last week, his first loss. Here's Stanton. Went in and sang the song out of habit, I guess, as the ball runs out of bounds in the pocket. We'll have a throw in.
Pressing the Bombers.
Gave away the free kick off the ball, then just
a little bit of frustration.
Yeah. Because Grundy's done him, Duck.
What Grundy has done, and where Carlisle's been really good over the last couple of weeks, is he's been able to run and jump at the footy.
Gets the space.
And that's exactly what he's done. He's taken his space away. He hasn't allowed him to run, and there is a little bit, obviously a little bit of frustration there.
Is the umpire still talking to Carlisle?
I guess it's part of his continued development as a forward. When he's had a couple of really outstanding weeks, he's now come against one of the really strong defences and really strong defenders. That, you know, when you become a headline actor that he has been the past couple of weeks, he's going to get plenty more attention.
And we just saw that frustration, didn't we, with that free kick. Kennedy can't get out. God, it's been a while since we've had a goal.
Yeah, they're just so good at shutting the game down, the Swans, aren't they? They don't look like scoring either, but just an arm wrestle at the moment in the middle of the ground.
Jack towards half forward. McGlynn needed some help. Well, inadvertently got boot to bull as he was slung. Parker trying to centre this one. It runs on. Danger situation here. Getting back first, though, was Collier. Running him down is Lloyd. Took him to the ground. Trying to fend off a would-be tackler there was Hooker. May have gone across the boundary line. He did. So we'll get a throw in. Just the one goal in this term. Essendon got it.
Yeah, I've got it.
But since then, Sydney quite content just to bottle it up. So 6 minutes to go. It's still at 15.
And it was 14 minutes ago, that goal. So nothing since then. So they've got to find 3 and a lot less, and maybe 4. Jack, clever kick, good. Well held on to, yes. He's tried hard tonight, Bagley, but he was just outweighed in the end. It was a clever kick by Jack.
Well, once again, Adams getting, I guess, the reward for having a guy like Bagley on him, Bruce. Yeah, he's getting the 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, that's it.
Best defender, whereas years gone by, he was getting the hookers and the Hurleys and these guys. He's no longer getting those players.
So this would seal their fate, you reckon, wouldn't you?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Been very competitive, the Bombers. They gave up a 5-goal-to-1 start in the opening term. And it's been the difference. Not as big in the second half, but if he does dob this good, gee, it's been another really important contribution. Should goal. And he does. So he's kicked a couple. And he's been important when it's counted. And Sydney's seemingly safely home now. So if Adelaide and Collingwood win this weekend, Essendon are out of the 8. So if Collingwood could beat Port and Adelaide beat West Coast, the Bombers slide out of the 8 at the end of this weekend.
Play on.
Ryder hooks it down behind.
Play on.
Kennedy did well. Jack kept it alive. Lloyd, Towers, a couple of the youngsters combining at the end of that. This ball ricochets off Winderlick and goes out of bounds. But you did mention earlier, Bruce, the draw for Essendon.
It's good. They haven't got a team in the top 8. So they're in a good spot. And I guess from Sydney's point of view, Dennis, this really gives them a great chance of getting that home final in the first week.
Sure. Victory tonight for the Bombers would have been on their wish list, but it would have been nothing more than a wish. They played well, but not well enough. Here's Jarrad doing nicely. Now Rampe, growing in stature week by week. Jarrad towards half forward. Going to hang on there was Towers. It falls to Kennedy. Hurriedly inside the forward 50. Bounces in the direction of Goods. Gave him a half chance there. Under pressure, this defence again. Merritt's hand pass. He goes to try and redeem the situation. Bird gave it to Tippett. Kicks it straight up in the air. Umpire making his intentions clear. He wasn't going to pay the mark. There's Jackson Merritt. Oh, crashing the pack and doing brilliantly was Rohan. It deflected across to Malceski. Play on's the call. No mark was paid to Tippett. And Rohan has hit the post.
Carlisle's gone back.
Not Rohan, it's Parker, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Carlisle's gone back. Hurley forward, I guess, to see if Hurley's in pretty good touch. Can he get a goal or two late in the game to give Essendon a chance?
Myers with a terrific kick of his. Well done, Merritt. Just got rid of Pike and then brought it back. You could see Rampe. Pike did well. Chased hard. Kennedy, well done. Rampe arched his back to Lloyd, and then Lloyd off a step down the line. He's a good player, Lloyd. He comes on and immediately gets kicks, gets involved. Parker back to Lloyd. I wonder if he'll be in the team come the end of the year, young Lloyd, because Hanbury's to come back. Some talk about maybe Mitchell. I'll be interested in your top 5 tonight, Doug. I'm not sure when you are going to release it, but interested to see
players in there, Bruce.
And here's the big in, of course, for the Bombers. Maybe in round 21, 3 matches for Joe before the finals.
Martin 22 points, then boundary throw in. Kennedy still finding the footy. Opponents found him that time. Again, Lloyd did well to Jack. Forward 50. Tippett lays it off. Goods. Can he put the polish on it? No, he can't. Unkind bounce in the square. 23 points, though. And you'd suggest not time enough. Just over 3 minutes remaining.
He's had career high tonight, Goods, in terms of disposals. Handball on the end of a good kick. Season high, I mean. Yeah. I'll probably say career high. We're not quite in that sort of form, but he's gone 16 up to 18 tonight. Chapman off a step to full forward. Where is Hurley? He's been taking them everywhere. Malceski belting it away. And a boundary throw in.
Tom, you know Bomber better than all of us in terms of coaching. So the fact that he sent Carlisle back and now Hurley, this is just another little lesson, isn't it?
Oh, it's a direct. I'd say it's a direct lesson for Carlisle. Goods is red hot. Yeah. We still need you as a utility type player. You've had your colours on to a certain extent. Now go and have a crack on someone who's red hot as a forward.
Malceski banging away in there. Well held. Here's Carlisle. Mentioned before the game, coming in after the last 3 weeks, one of which was a bye. far as the Bombers were concerned, the hottest player in the AFL, Heppel. Tried very hard tonight again. Malceski out of trouble, into more trouble. Hallett was waiting. Goddard, Collier tried to give it back to Heppel. Stolen away by Bird. Goes around the boundary. Gee, that was a clever kick under duress. Found Rohan. But there's nobody ahead of this man, and he realises that. Just took a peek.
Watch McGlynn here. Burst from deep in the defensive 50. Just works and works and works.
Good play by Shaw that time. No delusions of grandeur there. He was about 80 metres out. Man hot on his hammer. Took the mark, looked up, and in a step or two put on the brakes. Now it's Jetta. Hugs the boundary line. Rohan just steps in front. Gave a contest. Off hands taken by Myers. McGlynn! Well, he deserves that. What a combative character he is.
It's just the work rate of Ben McGlynn. He's come from the deep defensive 50. You see, he's just in and around, gets to the right spots, puts the forward pressure on. He's right up in the competition. But 20 seconds earlier, he was in the defensive 50, stormed down himself. He's been fantastic.
5 goals in these last 2 matches. The Olio back. Collier off a step. McGlynn again doing the smothering. Heppel belting forward. There's a U out there somewhere. Delolio and Cunningham. Cunningham's got him for sure, and a boundary throw in.
I'm sure that's umpire Chamberlain. He's got a subwoofer, I think, isn't he?
I just heard this morning, you, but I think it was he was.
I don't reckon there's been a holding the ball play tonight. I love protecting the ball player. The umpires are doing that in spades.
So the Bombers searching for an 8th goal. This has been hard going for them. Hurley forward. He's played a good game.
It's been the Bombers' best.
Yeah, hasn't he? 4 contested marks.
It's a lot of the footy for a halfback, and I don't think it's really just the change of direction cheapies.
No. He's played on a direct opponent, hasn't he? And he's done a good job.
Well, his career high is 30, and he's up to 29 tonight, and he gets the goal. So Hurley within 1 of his career high, easily a season's player. And he has been terrific. What have you gone for, Wayne, for your best 5?
Well, Hurley's definitely in it. He's been the Bombers' the best player. I think Parker's been terrific. Kennedy has been very good again, and obviously McGlynn with the 25 disposals, and also Malceski. But I think McGlynn, I mean, he's a classic example of a player that only needs to get it 25 times, and we notice him. He's that type of player, real impact. Chris Judd type player that just so explosive and so courageous.
Early 2nd goal of the season then. All too late. Over the top perhaps, Bellchambers. Hocking came hard. Heppel gets the kick away. Delolio takes the mark. 60 metres out. Kicking to space. Beautiful kick. Oh, it's missed down there by Carlisle. So Carlisle has very much cooled off tonight. Kicks it behind barely. 11-13 plays 8-9.
He's averaging 11 marks a game, you know, over the last 3 games, Carlisle.
was
31 up till tonight.
2 to 9. So the last rides of what's been a tough game, and hasn't been pretty. And I guess a lot of people would have thought that Sydney would win by about 22 points. It's one of those sort of games. It felt like they were maybe better team, and Zaharakis gets his kick away. But they did lead by 4 goals at quarter time, so the Bombers have stuck to their guns. But Sydney are going to remain on top of the table. Hurley flying hard. McVeigh kicked the opening goal. Gets a bit of a kick away. Malceski's been good. Bird. And the Swans make it 13 out of 14 and stay on top of the table with a 22-point win over the Bombers. Cheer, cheer, the red and the white. Honour the name by day and by night. Lift that noble banner high. Shake down the thunder from the sky. What though the odds be great or small, Swans will go in and win overall. While the loyal sons are marching onward to victory. Jude, but Luke Parker had a career-high 35 tonight. He was fantastic.
We're down here with him now, Bruce. Yeah, 35 possessions tonight, Luke. It seemed like the midfield was just stinging after the loss to Hawthorn last week.
Yeah, I think last week we were pretty disappointed with our effort. We got absolutely smashed in the midfield, and this week we know they're such a great running team, and we had to get back to shutting the outlets and running two ways, and that's what we did tonight. We led it a bit in the third quarter. We probably slowed that down, and they were able to come back a bit, but it was good the boys stood up and kept running in the fourth.
How early did you know that Buddy Franklin wasn't going to play?
When we rocked up, I think they made the call, but I think the boys handled it really well, and Timmy Membry came straight on, composed and had a few touches early, and it was great. He's been working so hard in the resis, and it's just great to see him get an opportunity.
And how important is to have some of the leaders around the club like Adam Goodes playing those cameo roles? Yeah,
he's been outstanding. I think he goes a bit unnoticed now, and then he pops up and kicks 2 or 3 goals, and he's just so dangerous, and it's just another bloke that is hard for the defenders to stop.
Well done tonight.
Cheers, mate.
Over to you, Tim.
Here with Teddy Richards, and Teddy got very tight in that third quarter. They got back to within 10 points, but you're able to steady.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I think they might have smashed us in centre clearances, so their ability just to keep getting it down and the repeat entries meant that we're under the pump down back.
He did a great job on Jake Carlisle, came into this game in great form.
Yeah, so all credit to Heath Grundy. He played the role on him today, and I think he kept him to 1. So going by the average of, he's been kicking bags of 7 and 8. So Reg did really well.
How difficult is it to get yourselves up after a clash like last Saturday night against the Hawthorn side with just the 6 days break?
I don't. That's just part of being a professional footballer, and if you can't get yourself up after a 6-day break, then I think you're going to have a pretty ordinary season. All teams got to deal with it. Teams got to travel. It's just the way it is, and so we try and deal with it the best that we can. And unfortunately, we had a late withdrawal with Buddy, but I thought Timmy Membry came in and playing his first game today was really special.
Well done again tonight, and good luck for the rest of the year.
Thanks, Timmy.
Good stuff. Really interesting stuff here, isn't it, with Goddard and Chapman having a chat there with the Bombers?
I would imagine they'd be talking about seizing the moment in the game. They did wrestle the flow of the game off the Swans in that third quarter, and then it fell away quite poorly, I think, towards the end. But it shows you the influence that those two players, they've been there in grand finals, have had on that club.
Zaharakis a little injured too. Jude, back to you with another star from tonight.
Yeah, we're with Nick Malceski here. Nick, just the rebound run off the half-back line was superb tonight for the Swans.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to have Shorey back tonight. Obviously missed 4 weeks with his ankle, and also got Gary Rohan back there. So yeah, it was good work, well done.
It just seemed like the boys were stinging after the loss to Hawthorn. A few guys were, I guess, well held against Hawthorn, and just a really good response.
Yeah, we were pretty disappointed last week, and we went through the tape during the week, and we just really wanted to get that run back and that hard hit around the footy, and I think we did that tonight.
And now over to Port Adelaide, a big game next week.
Yeah, massive game next week, so we'll prepare for that well.
Good luck, mate.
Hey, Leon, can I say something that might sound... Did they play any better tonight than they did against Hawthorn last week, Sydney? I mean, to the eye, I'm not sure that they did.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think they sort of battled hard and they competed hard and they won the game, but I don't think they would think, oh, we're fantastic tonight. But they work rate, their work rate was up and was good. They kept pushing back, and I think made it hard for Essendon to score.
Yeah, I think the quality of the game last week was a lot better than this game tonight. But it was a scrappy game. They fought it out. The Bombers, to their credit, turned it into a scrappy affair, and they were good enough to win it.
One thing, they got a bit of criticism last week at Swans midfield for not pushing back quick enough and aggressive enough. I reckon they were doing that tonight. Every time Essendon looked like they were going to have space in their forward line, the Swans midfield just flooded back.
Yeah, different style of game, I understand that, but last week's was such a high standard match, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did what they needed to do. They summed up the situation really well, came out and started the game well, kicked 5 goals to 1 and got that buffer of a lead from the get-go, and then really, you'd never say put the cue in the rack, but they certainly played the game on their terms.
Do you think they'll be in the grand final, Sydney?
I think they're the team to beat, I mean, they're up top of the ladder, but I think they and Hawthorn, but certainly they got great weapons all over the field.
I think Hannabury's a huge in if they can get him fit and running the lines well, and get some more games into Shaw. Obviously, Franklin back, they look pretty ominous to me.
I can't see them missing the grand final. Obviously, anything can happen on that big day, but I think they'll get there.
Well, they've got themselves into a good spot to get a home final in the first week, haven't they? 1 or 2. They've worked hard because they started the season so poorly. And for Essendon, well, they're a legitimate finals team, I think, don't you?
Yeah, no, they were good opposition. A lot of things didn't happen for them tonight that can, but they still were in the game at different parts and certainly weren't blown away.
So Sydney, for the moment, a game clear of everybody else. That'll change, you think, weekend. But it was a hard-fought win in young memory, a good first start match. Yeah, good on them, no. Terrific club, great team, on top of the table. 22-point margin, plenty more still to come on Friday night footy with the Pressers and the big wrap-up from tonight's match. Sydney over the Bombers at the SCG before a big crowd on a Friday night. It was 11-13 to 8-9.